Looking for career win number 400 once again tonight against the Memphis Tigers. Georgia got Memphis last time they met a couple of years ago on the road at Memphis. Tigers were a top 10 team then. They're led by Penny Hardaway, 20 wins each of his first 3 seasons at the helm for the Tigers. Emoni Bates, number 1. Jalen Duren, number 2. Top pro prospects on this Memphis team, even though Bates will not be eligible for this summer's NBA draft. And the first attempt is off the mark. Memphis is an elite rebounding team. They get the first offensive chance, and it's put back and in by DeAndre Williams.
Yeah, DeAndre Williams, a grown man on this basketball team. Most experienced guy on this basketball team, plays with so much heart and tenacity.
Christian Wright will be left to run the point for the Dogs tonight with Aaron Cook out. Dogs get it inside, and a little turnaround jumper's off the mark. It's ripped down by Emoni Bates. Get used to this name if you haven't seen him just yet. Freshman from Ypsilanti, Michigan. He was number 1 in the class of 2022, but reclassified and won't turn 18 this calendar year, so won't be eligible for the draft, and will have 2 years before he ends up as at least a lottery pick, if not the number 1 overall selection.
Georgia doing what's necessary here early on the defensive end, trying to get stops, which does not allow Memphis to get into their defensive pressure on the full court side. And Coach Penny Hardaway on the other end says he's going back to his older offense, trying to make it more accustomed to these younger players. He wants to go back to the offense that had so much success last year.
He lets Emoni Bates run the point, and that's been an issue for the Tigers in this young season. They've turned it over 20 times a game. That leads the nation. 22 turnovers in their lone loss last time out against Iowa State. Bates couldn't knock it down. It's rebounded by Jackson Eder. Oquendo turns it over. It's something Georgia cannot afford to do tonight. Lester Quinones. The Memphis team missed out on the NCAA tournament last year. They played Houston really tough down the stretch. A couple of close losses. They get either one of those, and Penny would have had Memphis in the big dance for the first time since he's been the head coach there. They haven't been since 2014 when Josh Pastner was the head coach at Memphis.
Well, Coach Hardaway did as much as he could do last year. Obviously didn't get there, but was able to win the NIT. I expect this team to certainly get there this year, but they have to continue to win some games in the non-conference with a very grueling schedule.
That one was halfway down for Cario Oquendo. Oh, too much. And a Memphis turnover. And DeAndre Williams behind everybody. Preseason second-team all-conference in the American. SEC fans, whether you're a Georgia fan or not, should get used to seeing this Memphis blue. This is the first of 4 games against SEC opponents for the Tigers. Nice feed and a flush by Oquendo.
Yeah, like nightmares right now for the Memphis Tigers. They saw that quite a bit against Iowa State, one of the teams that really shocked everyone last week. A lot of upsets, but I think that was probably the biggest surprise. You had Kansas go down to Dayton, Alabama went down to Iona, but the way that Iowa State was able to beat Memphis really surprised quite a few people.
Yeah, because that was an Iowa State team that won just 2 games last year, 2-22, but they've got a reloaded roster. And to your point, Tigers were one of 4 top 10 teams to lose last week. Slow start offensively on both ends. Memphis 1 of 4 with a turnover. Wide open. Quinones splashes it down.
Yeah, that time Braylon Bridges from Georgia really just didn't help. There was no communication on that screen. I like the half-court set that time by the Tigers.
A chance to watch Memphis shoot around today. What are they trying to do with their 3-quarter court press?
Coach Penny Hardaway talked about trying to make Georgia panic, and that's something that they're going to try to do night in and night out. Have yet to do that today, though, for the Bulldogs.
Great effort by Eder on the offensive glass. Memphis team 3rd in the country in defensive efficiency according to KenPom. They do a lot of things right on the defensive end. Where do they need to be on the offensive end in terms of what Penny has put in now?
Well, I think people just have to remember, even though they have veterans, you talk about Quinones and the fact that you have some guys back, Williams as well, the young man that he's talking to right there is 17 years of age. And so no matter how talented Bates is, no matter how talented these guys are, still young. You remember guys that used to have top recruiting classes, whether that was at Duke or at Kentucky. It took time. They took some bumps and bruises, but at the end of the year, those teams were ready to go.
He said he gave a lot of guys freedom offensively through the first 6 games of the season. It all turned into a perfect storm in the loss to Iowa State. Penny said, I caught a lot of flack for that loss, especially on national television. My guys heard that and they understand, and now we're trying to get this team to come and play together and play for each other. And sometimes that's a challenge when you got new guys. 3rd turnover already for Memphis.
Yeah, it's a challenge that people are dealing with all across the country because of the amount of transfers that we saw. And in particular for him, because so many of his guys are young and new faces to the basketball team.
Memphis wants to run with some tempo. Georgia would rather go slow. And Etter's able to pick up his foul from Jalen Duren. It's the first on one of the top prospects in this summer's NBA draft, Jalen Duren. Memphis with an early 5-2 lead on Georgia. Art Damian Fishback. It's Memphis and Georgia tonight, and an elite Memphis defense throughout the course of the season took them to a top 10 ranking before their last loss. What makes them so effective?
Well, they need to score off their defense. You see on this play where they're gambling, 2 guys on the ball, freeze it. A nice job. Let it play. But after the freeze, they're at a disadvantage. This is where they have to get better. You're going to see right here, it's 2 versus 3. They have to communicate, use their arms a lot better, weren't able to do that. But when they are able to do that, to cause that panic, it doesn't have to be perfect. You'll see on the ball reversal here, look, you've actually got 4 guys at the top and 1 guy back versus 2 guys. But he breaks on the ball. This is what they're trying to create, controlled chaos. When they do that, they're out to the races. The talent can come through, and that's what Coach Penny Hardaway's trying to teach this young team.
Here's the 2 sides of it for Memphis. 20 turnovers a game, yet one of the top defensive teams. They're 3rd in defensive efficiency. They lead the nation in blocks. Jackson entered the free throw line. I thought it was really interesting watching Penny shoot around today. By my estimation, they spent about 75% of the practice on defense. And Penny said, that's just my upbringing. That's what I was used to. He goes, because I've always taken pride on the defensive end of the floor, and he played for a high school coach that got him used to that when he played for Garmer Curry. By the way, Coach Elliott Perry, when Penny was just a youngster playing varsity basketball as a 9th grader back home in Memphis.
Well, this is the end where they have to continue to get better on. Defensively, we talked about it, but on this end, their half-court execution is where he's really trying to figure out how these guys can really gel together the best.
Subs in the game and a pass off the front of the rim and a turnover off the feed from Jalen Ingram. Here's Memphis the other way. Number 4 in tempo in the country, and Georgia comes up with the Memphis miss. It's hard to see exactly who can be a leading scorer for this Georgia team, Fish, and Tom Crean is still figuring that out. Christian Wright drains his first jumper.
Yeah, Christian Wright, the 6'3", 185-pound freshman out of Alpharetta, Georgia. He's the one that picks up more minutes, more of an opportunity with Aaron Cook on the sideline tonight.
Alex Lomax throws in a 3. He had 11 points last time these teams met a couple of years ago. That was a much different Georgia team. Anthony Edwards was on that squad. Xavier Wheeler, now one of the nation's assist leaders, having transferred to Kentucky.
Yeah, one of the better guards in the SEC, if not in the country. Watch Kentucky. They continue to get better in spite of some sicknesses. I love the speed of the Kentucky Wildcats right now.
A looking spin move, and then a blocking foul will go against the Tigers. Jalen Ingram had 13 points last time out and lost to Wofford.
Well, we talked about the job that Christian Wright did on the offensive end, but defensively, when the ball is reversed here, nice job of pass fake, moves Quinones. You know, so many times this younger generation doesn't use pass fakes, whether it's ball fakes, shot fakes. Always good to use those against the defense.
It's like I'm sitting next to Bobby Knight over here. Carrier Oquindo with the buckets. Shot fakes, ball fakes. You can praise blocking out too at the same time.
If only I could be Bobby Knight. One of the greats of all time, right?
Earl Timberlake will run some point here with Emoni Bates on the floor. But talking with Penny before the game, he said, we don't need a point guard. This is a motion offense. Bates way off the mark of the three-point attempt. Here's Ingram from 15. Got it.
Yeah,
Jalen Ingram puts Georgia up by 3 now.
Yeah, they got a nice flow right now. And one of the main reasons is because they don't have a lot of live ball turnovers, allowing Memphis to get out and run. They're really turning the Tigers into a half-court team. This is where Memphis is going to have to get better at executing here.
Timberlake down the lane. Finds his own miss, and then Georgia grabs it right back. Extended time for Wright at the point guard with Aaron Cook out due to illness. Georgia's made its last 3. And another whistle on Memphis. It'll be the 3rd team foul. And a first on DeAndre Williams.
The last time we did a game here, I spoke of Braylon Bridges as the anchor for this Georgia Bulldog team. You know, he's had double-double in the exhibition outing against Morehouse. Had a career high of 24 points, 11 field goals made versus Cincinnati, who's another quality team out of the American Conference. But I think he's got to get a little bit meaner, a little bit tougher inside. Love his work ethic, love his personality, but he's a guy who should be able to draw a double team. He's yet to do that. I think he has that on the upside.
6'11", 240 out of Union Grove in Atlanta, the Northwest Florida State Community College. And he even admitted when he got to Illinois Chicago, he said, I really struggled with the physicality of the junior college game. It's something that he knows is a literal weakness for him.
Sure. Well, and it's a different level, right? You talk about the adjustment from freshman to college, from junior college to college, and even from some of your lower major schools to power conferences. Just every single night having to go against that physicality, that athleticism and talent.
Here's a look at the new look Memphis offense, a little bit more structured, and then Bates takes it himself, and we got a push on the back end. The lack of structure, to some people, what they saw from Memphis prior to Penny having 4 days to put in this new offense, a lot of high ball screens, giving guys freedom, and he said, I kind of felt like my guys took advantage of the freedom that I gave them. So more structure, more screens, still a motion offense, but more responsibility.
Yeah, there's a reason why guys are going to more transfers in the game of college basketball, and why Baylor and Coach Scott Drew had one of the older teams last year, and why the older teams that have come back this year have had so much success. It's a challenging transition from the high school ranks when you've got guys 22, 23, sometimes 24 and 25 years old in college basketball this year competing. Lomax
with the fall away, senior out of Memphis East, where he played for Penny back in the day. Injured late last year when Memphis went on its NIT championship run. Wright got past Lomax on the screen. Kick out. Oquendo, no. And Earl Timberlake transferred in from Miami. He played for Jim Larinaga with the board. Memphis getting a little sloppy, and they're able to save it. Kick down for a reverse for Williams, and it falls off. Rebounded by Jalen Ingram. Dogs willing to run. And it looks like that one's going to be on Bates, and it is.
Right now from the Memphis Tigers, it seems like they're struggling with a little confidence. And they're vulnerable as a younger team. We talked about Emoni Bates and being one of the younger guys at age 17. One of the reasons why he's not even eligible for the NBA draft this year. But one thing that Coach Penny Hardaway has done is he's got the talent into Memphis. And so now there's a lot of expectations this year, but it's so early in the season. And you can even tell by these transfers from Georgia, they're playing with a little bit more confidence.
Oquendo's got another free throw coming. I look at this Memphis team kind of like the same way we've looked at John Calipari's Kentucky teams over the years. There's so much potential there that you can see that as they get better, and they will get better during the season, they're going to be a much better, much different team January, February, and Memphis fans hope in March.
I would agree. The challenge that Coach Hardaway has is their schedule. You know, when you look at this freshman group that's come in and Jalen Duren and Emoni Bates, I mean, the fact of the matter is they have to grow up so fast. I mean, you talk about playing here at Georgia, going to Ole Miss, playing against Tennessee, even Iowa State. They have to grow up extremely quick and on the road tonight.
Emoni Bates is able to pick up the foul on Jackson Eder. It's Eder's first. It sends us to a timeout. Georgia has held the lead for the majority of this one. Coaching between two great talents, Penny and Emoni. Alex Lomax had 11 in that one. Precious Achiuwa had a double-double for Memphis, 20 and 15. 13-10, Georgia with the lead over Memphis. Tom Crean trying to find career win number 399. He knows his team is struggling on game day, but he said, I see my team getting better each and every day.
Yeah, I thought both coaches actually had tremendous attitudes on behalf of Tom Crean. He talked about we've been right there in most of these basketball games, whether it was home against Georgia Tech where DeVoe just went on a tear by himself. Coach Penny Hardaway, when he talks about Emoni Bates and the job that he's done thus far. These guys are young. He actually didn't love the fact that they got beat so bad, but he said, I think it opened the eyes of our team. It was kind of like a perfect storm so we could correct some things early.
Landers Nolley II is on the floor. That's a shot from Lomax. Nolley's had a busy 24 hours, had his high school jersey retired last night. An excuse from shoot around, go down to Langston Hughes High School, where he helped him with a pair of state championships, Southwest Atlanta. Penny was addressing the team after shoot around today and talking about Nolley, and he said, listen, that's a great honor. It's something they can never take away from you. Big three, Jabri Abdul-Rahim coming off a 20-point game against Wofford.
Yeah, there goes that man we've been talking about. Last couple of games, he's really taken steps in the right direction. I think he's critical for this Georgia team. They need multiple scores. They need other weapons. And he's the guy who can get it done for them. He just has to do it on the defensive end as well.
Here's a touch for Nolley. And he's able to share it, and Memphis gets a point-blank look. DeAndre Williams' second bucket.
Now, Georgia switches from man-to-man to kind of a matchup zone. He's really trying to keep the younger players from Memphis confused.
Tigers have turned it over 4 times in this first half. They averaged 20 turnovers a game this season. And there's a takeaway. There's another thing they do really well. They may turn it over, but they're great on the glass, and they know how to take it away. Williams all alone in the block for a second. And he's got back-to-back buckets.
He talked about the tempo being to the like of Georgia. Now, this is more Memphis.
Yep.
See if they're able to score. Now they're able to set up into their pressure. We got a double team in the backcourt, a little bit more panic by the Bulldogs.
Georgia solves it, and they hoist a 3, and it goes.
That's the gamble that you take if you're the Memphis Tigers. The hope is that you can try to wear the Bulldogs down over 40 minutes of play.
Really interesting watching Penny run through the press today. He said you don't necessarily have to steal it, just the threat. Try to get them to rush. Make sure you threaten the passing lanes and you threaten their space.
Well, both of these coaches are cerebral coaches, and here's what happens. Not a bad contest, but anytime you take a chance like that, Jalen Ingram doing a nice job of converting in the open floor.
Memphis just 6 for 17 from the floor to start this thing. 2 of 7 from 3. And they've been on a nice little tear here as Nolley throws in for his first bucket. What do you think of Christian Wright's play at the point so far tonight?
It's been solid, especially the fact that he probably didn't know he was going to play this much without Cookout. Most of the time, opposition is an opportunity. I think he's looking at it of that sort.
Wright with the miss. Tigers have made their last 3. Going downhill all the way, and it's taken away. Keria Oquindo with the steal and the slam.
Pretty basketball. The dunk is what you're going to see, but it's right here. Boom! The change of speed and direction is what actually allowed him to be set up for the play.
And now Memphis will use a timeout. It's a 5-point Georgia lead. How about Oquindo? This guy all over SportsCenter top 10 getting above the rim.
Well, Coach Tom Crean really likes him. He said he thinks he's got a real chance. And when you think about Anthony Edwards and some of the players that he's had here recently that have gone on to the next level, Tom Crean has proven that he has the ability to evaluate talent and develop talent. I like this timeout called here for the Tigers. You know, they're in a situation where they just got beat, punched in the mouth in that previous game. You don't want to let this get out of hand on the road too early for them.
Memphis did have 10 blocks in that game against Iowa State. One of the few things that went well because against the Cyclones, they shot just 36%. They had 22 turnovers against only 8 assists, so this is very much a work in progress offensively. You talked about their youth. What about the idea that you put in new stuff over just 4 days? Penny said our veterans have already run all this stuff, and it's not that steep a learning curve for the young guys.
Sure. Well, like I said earlier, I think the biggest challenge is the caliber of teams that they're playing. You talked about Coach Cal at Kentucky or Coach K at Duke. A lot of times you try to have lesser teams, if you will, to allow your team to build up confidence. Memphis has really been thrown in the fire, and it doesn't get easier. And so the fact that they took those 4 days to allow themselves to improve, try to implement a different strategy, a different offense, is something that I think is a good strategy by Coach Hardaway.
Strong move inside by Duren, who's averaging 11 points and 9 boards a game. Another chance for a run out. How about the Dogs pushing it? Oquindo's got 9.
We talked about the home teams winning last night. The upset by Ohio State over Duke, who was #1. College basketball is back this year.
Challenge shot at the rim. Taylor Rigdon will pick up his first personal, and Landers Nolley is holding his right thigh, if not a little bit closer, now his ankle. Georgia has outscored Memphis in transition 7-0. Does Georgia want to keep running with Memphis, or do they have to be a little bit more selective going forward?
Yeah, good question. They want to run when it's available. They don't want this to get up and down, though, 94 feet to where both teams are running. And that's typically the focus of most teams. I would say for Memphis and Coach Hardaway, it's a little different. They feel like they have better talent and better athletes than the majority of teams that they play. So they want more possession, which is why they try to press. They try to get the game going up and down. But the challenge is, if you don't turn teams over, and Coach Tom Crean's did a nice job of making sure that the Bulldogs don't turn it over, then you can get yourself behind.
Nolley goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Memphis, if you take away the turnovers, had a pretty good offensive game. Well, I take that back. They didn't shoot the ball especially well against Iowa State.
Right.
But when they were able to run and get quick shots, they looked like a much different team than when they got stagnant on the offensive side. You can certainly see the potential.
Absolutely, which is why this is the most important end. Their defense, to a certain extent right now, is their offense. Now, here's their chance where they can get out and go.
The Duren swat started it, and favor returned by Cario Oquindo. Memphis leads the nation in blocks. Georgia says 2 can play that game. It was Duren, the top prospect, first.
Block party, nice and early. Outstanding job by the Bulldogs in defensive transition.
This kind of block party, we're going to end up wearing lampshades before the night is done. It's a 23-17 lead for Georgia. Fish Cario Oquindo with 9 points. He's getting it done at both ends of the floor. Tom Crean said today he's only operating at about 60% capacity. Not a health situation, just getting him into the flow of being a Georgia Bulldog and playing basketball at this level. So this guy's improving each day. We're seeing the fruits of his work tonight.
Well, his athleticism and talent has been there, but the job that Coach Tom Crean has done with having 9-10 newcomers in such a short period of time is actually pretty impressive. It hasn't shown in the win column, but these guys are much better than they were at the start of the season, and that's what he was saying. Our guys are improving. He said, I'm all right. We're where we need to be, and we're going to continue to improve as the season keeps going.
Well, that's a first bucket for Duren, preseason first team and Rookie of the Year in the American. Only freshman in the country, averaging 11 points, 9 boards, and 3.5 blocks a game. Wright looking inside for Oquindo. Georgia trying to post Bridges this time. The three's off the mark, and it's rebounded by Duren.
See, you can tell here, just discombobulated when they get into half court right now. kind of looking, trying to see what they're going to do, whether it's a ball screen. Now you've got close to 10 seconds left to go, and they're in their offense.
Harris will launch a three. Duren fighting for it, and Georgia comes out of there with it. Abdul-Rahim starts it. Here's Wright. And he picks up the foul on the drive. That'll be a blocking foul. And Christian Wright jammed his fingers on that play.
Well, Georgia doesn't play like a team who's lost their last 4 games. I think they're as confident as ever. When you think about the games that they lost, the only game that Coach Tom Crean was really upset about was the Northwestern game. They came out, got down 20 points, and one of those was a huge three-pointer right before the half. Got it down to about 10 points, but wasn't quite able to cut the lead. But when you think about the Georgia Tech game here, the game against Virginia, even the Wofford game, you know, they were right there. And so they just have to learn how to win. Those are the exact words that he used, and he is in hopes that they will do that here tonight.
Lost to Wofford by 3, turned it over 19 times in that game. The Terriers went to the free throw line 17 times and only turned it over 8 times. And in a game that close, that was the difference. High screen from Duren. Nolley will launch. All right, let's see what Memphis gets into on a baseline out of bounds, and if Penny goes with a little bit more structure here in the half court, because I feel like when they do, Jalen Duren is getting good looks on the block.
Yeah, I like him with this anywhere on the block. I thought that was good offense that time, maybe a little quick, but I think with the athleticism and talent they have, they should send more guys to the offensive glass as well.
Well, they're fantastic on the glass. 13th in the country. 38% of their misses end up in the Tigers' hands. And that one over the top of the backboard. Tough to rebound that one. Memphis shooting just 33% here in the first 14 minutes.
One challenge that you have when you have top-ranked recruiting classes, the elephant in the room is just about everyone thinks they're going to the next level, and they think they're going in that particular year, including the families, the AAU coaches, everybody that's surrounding them. What Memphis has to do is continue to learn to gel and to play as one unit versus as individuals.
Another block by Duren. It's so funny that came up today. Funny to me because I was around John Calipari's team when they went to the Final Four in 2008. And right before their Sweet 16 run, I was at their practice, and he had Joey Dorsey and Dozier and all these guys together, and he said, listen, guys, this is supposed to be fun. This is the most fun you're ever going to have playing basketball, because when you get to the league, it's all about the minutes and the money, and your wife's mad about the contract, and your girl doesn't have the right car, and this and that, and the pressure that you have competing with your own teammates. And Penny delivered a very similar speech to his team during shoot-around today. You've got to be in this together to get to where we want to be. Williams missed. Duren fighting for it. And Georgia comes out of there. It's Oquindo. Ingram for 3. Georgia is playing loose, and to your point, confident that you said earlier, and another trip to the free throw line coming after the second on DeAndre Williams.
Yeah, inspired basketball by all of the Bulldogs, and you wonder just how good they would look if you had Aaron Cook in this basketball game. Listen, the SEC is going to be one of the best conferences in the country this year. You look at 6 teams in the top 25. Now, obviously, those numbers can leave next week, but it just shows you the elevated level of college basketball when it comes to the Southeastern Conference.
Braylon Bridges has 2 free throws coming his way. You know, you take out some of the measurements for expectations, I think probably Florida looks better than anybody based on what they've accomplished within the SEC this season.
Well, Florida, obviously, the job that they did, knocked off Ohio State earlier to win that tournament, and that win looks even better after Ohio State knocked off Duke last night. I still think LSU is one of the best teams that no one's talking about with their talent of Pinson, the transfer, Darius Days, Eason. But there's so much talent from top to bottom in the Southeastern Conference this year.
Alex Lomax blows through. He's got 7. Boogie Ellis ran the point for a good chunk of last year for Memphis. He's now at USC. And Lomax was injured late, only played 1 minute in the last 9 games, and that was more of a celebration of the NIT team. And a little baby hook from Braylon Bridges.
Love it. Make him guard. Didn't happen as much on the high school level. Most of the times you can go down and score and you don't have anyone coming back at you that's really going at you for 40 minutes of play. I like the strategy of Coach Crean going to the interior.
Here's Emoni Bates. He is still scoreless in this game. Now 0 for 4 after being challenged by Bridges inside. Eder, lob. And Quinones tried to save it. Braylon Bridges was shooting around today. Did you get a chance to talk to him about playing physical?
Well, he was just trying to make 10 free throws in a row, but I didn't talk to him about playing physical. I just told him that I really liked his basketball game, that he needed to continue to play with confidence and continue to keep his head up. That's exactly what he's doing. A lot of times when players suffer some early losses early, they lose a little bit of confidence.
Noah Bauman, three-point specialist in the game for Georgia, picks up the foul on the Lomax drive.
And Noah Bauman, one of 7 or 8 players who has been under the weather since Georgia made that last trip coming back from New York. And at the end of the day, that's what a lot of teams across the country are fighting through. Noah Bauman is a guy who really stretches the floor for Georgia, allows one of their better shooters and allows them to have a lot more penetration to the rim when he's knocking down shots.
Another free throw coming for Lomax, 75% of the season. Turned the ball over 3 times in that Iowa State game. He was minus 18 in that 78-59 loss. It wasn't the worst plus minus of the team, but a good example of the starters really not giving Memphis much in the game against the Cyclones. 5-point game. Eder with the ball fake.
Beautiful job of recovery by Memphis that time.
And the loose ball started by Tyler Harris. Ends with a Duren attempt, and he missed it. Bauman was spotting up, couldn't get a touch. Lomax. Bates still scoreless. That'll in on a layup.
Beautiful. The more that this game gets like that, the better off for the Memphis Tigers. If you're Georgia, you cannot continue to have live ball turnovers.
Another Memphis steal. Harris wanting the foul, and he slowed up to get it. And the Iowa State transfer, Tyler Harris, will be going to the free throw line. Memphis has put together a run thanks to turning Georgia over 4 times in the last minute 20.
They were spot on about Memphis, though, Tom. At the end of the day, if this game gets going up and down like that, Georgia cannot hold on. As the turnovers go, so will the Georgia Bulldogs. Let's see how they respond coming out of this timeout, Tom.
Yeah, to Andrea's point, 4 turnovers in the last 118. And this is, follow the trends coming in. It's Memphis, the team that's been turning the ball over a lot this season. But Georgia's got 9 turnovers to the Tigers' 5. Georgia playing at a much different tempo here tonight than they normally do.
Yeah, and you think about the different styles that they've played. You watched Virginia in a heartbreaking loss last night right there up to the very end. But you have to go against a style like Tony Bennett. Then you go against a matchup zone, and Michael DeVoe just really puts Georgia Tech on your shoulders. You think about Northwestern out of the Big Ten, a tough one. And then Wofford, they're tremendous shooters. The way they run half-court execution and their back screens and flare screens. They've seen a lot of different styles thus far, and they've got a different one against the Memphis Tigers tonight.
Tyler Harris, originally a Tiger, then a Cyclone, and back to Memphis as a walk-on now. Knocks a couple of them down. Earl Timberlake returns. Timberlake fouled out of the Iowa State game. Just about everything went wrong that could for Memphis that night. A little pressure from Emoni Bates at midcourt. He's got incredible length, doesn't he?
Well, not only length, but good speed and quickness. That's why they love him at the next level.
6'9", 190. Was originally committed to Tom Izzo and Michigan State, but decided to reclassify, come to college a year early. 17 foul for Memphis. Georgia at the line. This will put Bridges there. It was a second on Duren.
Well, you think about this Memphis team and the youth that they have mixed with experience versus Georgia. For the most part, Georgia has multiple experienced guys on this basketball team. They're older. When you talk about Braylon Bridges and Jalen Ingram, the question is going to be, and we've talked about it a little bit before, Tom, the tempo and style of this basketball game. And right now, as the Georgia Bulldogs have taken care of this basketball, they've allowed themselves to get this three-point lead.
We talk about that experience. Georgia came in with these transfers, 7 in their first year, 4,782 points at their previous school. That's not just a lot of buckets, as Duren slams it home, but you got to be on the floor a lot. Like, that's a lot of reps to come up with that many points. Tigers within 1 off the Duren dunk, his second bucket of the game. Memphis really extending the D now. Back cut is there, and a walk right before it. Well, the back cuts were something that Penny Hardaway told his team about. Turnover number 10 now for Georgia. He said, we're going to extend the defense, but you've got to be ready because this is a really good team at cutting to the rim.
Yeah, and that call was late, but it was the correct call. And you see the turnovers now slowly but surely building up. 10 turnovers for Georgia. Memphis with 8 points off of those turnovers. Let's see if Georgia on this end can get back going where they can get hot defensively and get some more stops.
Emoni Bates steps through, walked with it.
And that's the challenge that you have when you see Emoni Bates on that trip. He just wanted to get it too quick. And that's the adjustment that high school players have to make when they get to the collegiate level. They defend better. They're older, more intelligent. You got to change sides of the floors, work collectively as a unit versus being able to do it individually with just one pass.
Number 1 prospect in the class of 22. Is 17 years old. Jabri Abdur-Rahim gives it up. Mismatch. And a double, and smart play, quick hands. Alex Lomax with the strip. There'll be 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Dogs.
The one thing you'll notice at every position, so much length that you see on the side of Memphis.
They're one of the tallest teams in the country, top to bottom, top 7. Here's Bates out front.
Showtime.
Here we go. Emoni Bates with his only second bucket of this half.
Georgia's had some success on the block. They're trying to get it inside to Braylon Bridges. The problem is, as the Memphis Tigers have extended their defense, they've made it a lot more challenging.
And another Georgia turnover. Dogs have coughed it up 11 times now. Memphis the other way. Quinones got it.
Pretty
Lester
basketball.
Quinones gives Memphis a 4-point lead.
Tom, we talked about this before, that the defense of Memphis was their best offense. And when they get out on the break, Quinones, that's a wide open three-point shot that's in rhythm. That's when their talent, their skill set can really take over. They're not having to think the game. That's what they were similar. It's similar to what they were doing in high school.
Yeah, they turn it over 20 times a game. It's been well documented, but they forced 18 turnovers a game. Nearly 10 steals a game for this Memphis team.
Well, when you talk about guys like Lester Quinones and Alex Lomax, they are the guys that have been here before. And that's one of the reasons I think Coach Hardaway has them on the floor, leaning on them right now. And you see the difference in the field goals and those points off of turnovers and the fast break points. It's not off a lot for Georgia, but down this last 4 or 5 minute stretch, the game is now beginning to get out of hand. This last minute, 28 seconds, extremely important.
And to your point about the fast break points, Georgia led that category 7-0 in the first 10 minutes. Things have changed in the second 10.
You can't get fast break points taking it out of your own net. They've got to get stops in order to get out on the fast break again.
Dogs have made just one of their last 7 field goal attempts. Bridges offers the screen. Great team defense by Memphis. Ingram for 3. You can tell everybody helping.
Well, you can tell they're starting to miss Aaron Cook a lot more. Right now, the Bulldogs are playing timid. When you have pressure, you have to attack that pressure And right now, the pressure of Memphis Tigers is starting to wear out the Bulldogs.
Quinones couldn't knock it down. Here's Wright. Georgia 41% from the floor in the first half, 3 of 11 from 3. Shot clock at 8. Abdul-Rahim into the paint and off the window and in.
Again, Jabri Abdul-Rahim is the young man who I think has to take it to the next level. We talked about how good he did last game, and the job that he did on this particular play, playing under pressure when the shot clock is going down. That means that he's getting stronger both mentally and physically to complete a play like that.
Remember his dad, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, played at Cal and in Atlanta Wheeler High, now president of the G League. 3rd overall pick in the '96 draft, played 12 seasons with Vancouver, Atlanta, Portland, and Sacramento. Uncle Amir, now the head coach at Kennesaw State after being on the staff here at Georgia. 11. Good ball movement for the Tigers with 7 now. Landers Nolley pump fake makes it easier. Clock winding down, and Memphis can't get a clean look at the end. 34-32 is the lead for Memphis. Georgia has turned the ball over 11 times tonight. Let's get to the studio. Here's Alyssa and Andrea.
Hardaway's new look offense has been wildly efficient in this regard. Only 6 first half turnovers, averaging 20 per game coming into this one, 22 last time out. So they have certainly cleaned that up in a big way. And 18-12 in the paint. Duren and DeAndre Williams with a size advantage inside for the Tigers. Memphis willing to run. 4th in the country in tempo, and there's Jalen Duren.
2 outstanding plays, a good stop that time by Memphis, which allowed them to get out into the break. And Coach Penny Hardaway's on the sideline wanting to really show their length. It looks like that Memphis has kind of gone to a matchup zone. You see Emoni Bates pointing at the bottom of that zone. The same thing with Jalen Duren. And they want to make this adjustment to try to make Georgia settle against their length.
Certainly has made Georgia more deliberate. Ingram was looking for a whistle. It'll be Georgia basketball with 6 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, Jalen Ingram deserved a whistle. Assault and battery charge on that end.
Hey, what do you think of Crean going casual with the hoodie on the sideline? Penny's going 3-piece and Crean's chilling.
You know, to each his own.
Why can't we wear
comfortable
hoodies? You would want to stick with the bow tie, don't you? You get too much color.
Well, I just feel like it's, you know, a game like this is got to dress for the occasion.
That's right. That's right. Penny looking sharp. And a well-dressed bench, too. Got some guys who can afford to do it with Larry Brown and Rasheed Wallace over there with him. Whew. Oquendo with the drive and dish. Here's Ingram. Deliberate move by Ingram. It leads to a bucket and one for Cario Oquendo.
Yeah, nice job of Oquendo moving without the basketball. Watch Cario Oquendo. He comes right there underneath at the bottom of your screen, and Emoni Bates got caught looking at the basketball, which is what happens with a lot of young players.
It's a second on Emoni Bates, and it'll put Cario Oquendo to the free throw line. Sophomore from Titusville, Florida, out of Astronaut High School. And he's pulled Georgia to within 1. The walk-on Edders matched up with future #1 pick Emoni Bates. Ball fake, no space. Quinones with the sweet stroke. He's got 3 threes tonight.
Yeah, and you know, what I loved about that possession from Memphis is they were patient. They reversed sides of the floor. They worked together cohesively as a unit. They've got so much talent. A lot of times, though, they just want to get it so quickly on their own. More possessions like that, and they'll have better offense.
Window with the three. That's his first triple of the night. Leads all scorers with 15.
Cario Quindo showing you that he's more than just a shot blocker, defender, and a dunker.
Bates got antsy, put it up. Talking with folks about this Memphis team, Tom Crean said they take a lot of wild shots. They are a great bad shot rebounding team, and that was perhaps one example.
Yeah, well, they're just so talented. And when I say talented, meaning long, athletic, it's the reason why people at the next level are looking so hard at this team, because that's what they look for at the next level, is athleticism, is length, and skill set. That's what I'm watching Memphis for tonight, to see just how skilled they are, the ability to make the correct pass. Can they knock down the correct shot at the right time?
That was a second on Braylon Bridges a moment ago. Duren now posting him up. That'll be a key down the stretch, and Bridges nearly picked up his third. Loose ball. And a push-off inside, and it looks like that's going to be on Duren, and it's his third.
Tough break that time for Jalen Duren. And you see Coach Penny Hardaway there just continuing to try to motivate and to teach. Georgia right now showing nice battle, right? They're pretty much undersized at just about every position, but they have yet to back down tonight.
A reminder, if you joined us late, Georgia playing without starting point guard Aaron Cook. Sixth-year player, played in the national championship game with Gonzaga last year. He's out with an illness. Here's Eder open. Whoa, my goodness. So Quindo came flying in, but couldn't get a handle on it. Transition three, and the Tigers add to their lead.
Beautiful basketball. Georgia has to do a much better job of getting back and communicating defensively, but they need to get some baskets here on the offensive end so they can get their defense set and make the Memphis Tigers go against 5 guys.
Right after the gamble makes it 5-on-4. Can't come up with it.
Crowd much more active for the Bulldogs in this first half. Right now, the Bulldogs fans are much needed here while Memphis is going on a run.
Offensive foul will be charged to Landers Nolley II.
Foul charge towards Memphis number 3, Landers Nolley II. That's his first, Memphis' third.
Nolley pleading his case with the veteran Don Daly.
Interesting enough, Memphis has seemed to have backed off their pressure. It's almost like they made a decision that we don't want to allow Georgia to have any easy baskets, meaning 2-on-1 or 3-on-2. They want to make Georgia score against a set defense, and it's working here in the second half.
Yeah, Georgia has not been a good half-court offensive team. They're dead last in the SEC in points. They're 10th out of 14 in field goal percentage. They're 12th in three-point percentage. Right now, number 18, Memphis, clinging to a 4-point lead on the road in Athens. 15th-ranked Memphis Tigers off to a good start this half thanks to the play of Lester Quinones.
Well, the 6'5", 208-pound junior out of Brentwood, New York, has really taken his leadership role. You expect that from a veteran, but the way that he's done it in this second half has been so efficient. I don't know if he's playing the string music of Joe Dean Jr. or not, but he certainly loves to see that ball go through the net. Nothing but nylon. You see him 3 of 5 from the three-point range, and as they have continued to get stops, they've gotten confidence on the offensive end here in the second half.
This is quite a run that Memphis is on over the next 18 days, including this one, 4 SEC opponents. It's the most since 2001, 2002. That was a Memphis team with DeJuan Wagner on it. Played 4 SEC opponents that year as well. So ESPN2's got the next 3 at Ole Miss on Saturday in Oxford. They got Alabama, which will be a big matchup December 14th, and no love lost with the folks from Knoxville, a neutral site, that one being played in Nashville. It is a great series going back to when Bruce Pearl and John Calipari banged heads, both on the recruiting trail and on the hardwood. And a beautiful shot by Christian Wright to take it off the glass with his left hand.
Yeah, it's almost like the staff, whether it's Coach Tom Crean, somebody said to Christian Wright out of that timeout, you've got to be more aggressive. You're the point guard. He actually said something in the shoot-around today. He was talking to some of the other teammates, but he looked at Christian Wright and said, are you going to tell him or am I going to tell him? And so at the point guard role, he's looking for someone else to be an extension of him on the court. Let's see if Christian Wright can do it.
Aaron Cook does a good job of that when he is healthy on the floor, but out with illness tonight. 11 points from the free throw line for Georgia. It's a 1-point game. Really good defense by Abdul Rahim. And a loose ball, and Georgia wants a timeout. They got it.
Timeout, Georgia.
And so the Bulldogs will retain the possession. What a huge opportunity, as we started the broadcast talking about, for Tom Crean. Looking for his 400th win, trying to fire up his team. And at halftime, the crowd here at Segment Coliseum. Memphis leads by 1. Well, this is a relatively new Memphis staff with a couple of key assistants working with Penny Hardaway, in addition to Cody Toppert, who's been there a couple of years. He's got a guy that he played for. Penny Hardaway was with the Knicks in 2005, injured for a good chunk of that season, but Larry Brown was the head coach at the time. Larry Brown won over 1,000 games in the pro ranks, won a championship with Detroit, and also won a national title with Kansas. He also has Rasheed Wallace on the sideline. You know, a lot of assistant coaches attempt this pregame. Here's Rasheed. I mean, he didn't finish it, but, you know, props for getting up there.
Listen, every player knows off of one step, that looks pretty good. He's still in decent shape. And, you know, you talked about Coach Larry Brown as well. They said, you know, he hadn't been assistant coach since the 1960s, but he's still out on the recruiting trail. And I think as much value as he brings to this staff is the ability to help them evaluate talent.
Yeah.
He knows how to build culture. He knows how to build a program. And they said he's actually like out helping get stuff off of the bus, whether it's getting the Gatorade or helping the bags. And that takes a lot of humility to do what he's done, to have that accomplishment, and it's mutual. Penny Hardaway appreciates him, and he appreciates Penny Hardaway as well.
Not just a Hall of Famer, but the Chuck Daly Lifetime Achievement Award winner, presented by the National Basketball Coaches Association. He was an assistant with Team USA a couple times down in Sydney with the Olympic squad. And one coming for DeAndre Williams. He was a member of Dean Smith's North Carolina coaching staff in 1965 to 67. That's the last time he was an assistant.
Now, right now, the Memphis Tigers have been assisted at the half by making 2 adjustments. Number one, trying to turn Georgia into a half-court outside shooting team. And number 2, they are pounding the basketball inside to try to use their length and athleticism.
DeAndre Williams makes it a 3-point play. Tigers by 4. Here's Christian Wright. Boy, he's really been aggressive trying to get into the paint. Shot clock winding down. It's at 5. Here's Wright to the rack. Couldn't catch the rim. And Georgia, we got a whistle right before the shot clock violation.
Patrick Evans right there on the call. And give credit to Georgia, just relentless in continuing to fight through. We talked about the athleticism on the side of Memphis. They play a plethora of players. They try to use their depth. And you wonder, as this game goes on, does the attrition of the depth that they've used, the bench, start to wear Georgia down a little bit, or can Georgia withstand that depth?
Shot clock at 5 again. Ingram didn't see it. And now it's up to Abdul Rahim to hurry. Out of control down the lane, but he gets a blocking foul. And DeAndre Williams took a shot.
Yeah, and he's still on the ground. You hope that he's going to be okay.
It's a third on Williams.
And he is pounding the floor. And to add insult to injury, obviously does not get the call. And I think he's just as frustrated and hurt about the call as he is about taking the hit. Good sportsmanship being displayed by both DeAndre Williams and Jabri Abdul-Rahim.
25 points over the first 6 games for Jabri Abdul-Rahim. Last time he had 20 points in just 18 minutes. That was in a loss at home to Wofford. Another one coming. 2019 New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year. Abdul-Rahim hits 1 of 2. The 1-3-1 look for the Dogs.
Yeah, it has the shape of a 1-3-1. Let's see if they keep it in the 1-3-1 or do they try to match up out of it. We'll have to see once it gets towards the baseline how the shape changes.
And that'll force a Memphis turnover.
You know, it's funny, Coach Tom Crean, you asked him, you know, what kind of defense they were going to be playing. And he said, we'll keep mixing it up. And on the other side, Coach Penny Hardaway said, we expect Coach Crean to do the same thing that he did to us last time. He'll keep mixing up defenses, try to keep our young guys confused. It works out in the favor of the Bulldogs on that particular possession.
I mean, Fish, let's be honest. There's no secrets in college basketball, right? I mean, both sides have a really good feel through all the scouting report, what they're going to do. Matter of fact, Tom Crean read about Penny talking about their new look offense, a throwback to their great finish last year. And he said, what did we do? Well, we got together, we poured over film overnight. We went over all of their stuff from last year because they probably hadn't prepared for it as much coming into this game. Kind of a cram session. Oquendo got the shooter's touch. It's his second 3 this half. He's got 18. Tied at 45.
See, right now, Memphis stagnant. Just now getting into their offense with 15 seconds left. When you go against a zone, you need a lot more ball movement. Try to make that zone shift. Nice pass.
Open 3 for a second. Rebound put back up and in by Earl Timberlake. Timberlake only appeared in 7 games for Miami last year. An ankle injury and a shoulder injury. Then he got to campus at Memphis. He said, I've had this shoulder issue. They took a deeper look and they said, actually, that's a neck issue. Some surgery in the offseason. Oquendo. Abdul-Rahim fumbled it. Now launches. Got it! Georgia takes a lead on a Jabri Abdul-Rahim 3.
Coach Tom Crean thinking just like we drew it up. Neither team right now, neither has a lot of flow offensively, but they're making shots.
Indeed, Nolley throws in his second triple this game.
NIT's most outstanding player last year, really stepping up big. We've talked about the freshman class of Memphis, but it really is the veterans that's stepping up tonight. Quinones, Lomax, and now Nolley.
Oquendo did not shoot that one with a ton of confidence, did he?
No, he didn't, and it allows a fast break opportunity for Memphis right now. Not a bad job getting back, though, by the Bulldogs.
It'll stay with Memphis. 21 seconds on the shot clock. Timeout on the floor. Georgia's made a game of it thanks to a couple of long-distance jumpers. Abdul-Rahim threw this one in before the shot clock ran out. We've got a one-possession game for Kerry Oquendo tonight. He's done it on both ends of the floor, Fish.
Yeah, he's done an outstanding job really trying to keep Georgia in this basketball game. We talk about his outstanding dunks on SportsCenter. but tonight he's displayed really his ability to do it all the way around. Nice knuckleball that time from behind the three-point line. Points have been hard to come by, but offense has picked up here in the second half. And you see his stat line, 18 points, efficient from the field, 7 of 11, with 4 rebounds to go with it.
Got a block and a steal. His 2 threes have both come since the break. Had 10 points on 5 of 8 shooting last time out against Wofford, and a tough home loss for Georgia. It was their 4th consecutive loss. And if the Dogs can end that losing streak, they'll get Tom Crean his 400th career victory.
Yeah, you can tell Coach Crean really wants that. But Memphis doing a good job of making it hard on him here in Stegman Coliseum.
Wright went under the screen, and it goes home for Alex Lomax.
You know, Alex Lomax is the key. I think he really makes Memphis go. His energy, the heart that he plays with, the tenacity, his ball pressure, he really sets the tone for them defensively.
And only made 1 of 7 threes coming in, but 2 tonight. Bridges working on Duren. Duren's got 3 fouls. Bridges off the window. Nice move.
Yeah, nice poise and patience displayed by Braylon Bridges on that play. I think they need to go to him as much as possible here in the second half. Try to make Memphis adjust in the way they're guarding him.
Duren on Bridges. Eder with the help. Runner short. Follow with a foul. And that'll put Landers Nolley II at the free throw line.
Go ahead, Tom.
Well, Penny Hardaway's message to his team before the shoot-around today was, we need to find a way to come together when the lights come on and the popcorn's popping. And they've certainly cleaned up their game tonight, a lot more efficient than what we saw their previous 2 games, but still looking for that growth with this very talented team.
Yeah, I would agree. And one of the reasons why I feel like they've done that is because they've really leaned heavily on the veterans tonight. You know, we talked about this outstanding recruiting class, but we know what's been successful in college basketball, and it's been veteran, older guys. I can't tell you how many college coaches in the offseason, when you ask them how their offseason's going, they say just trying to get old and stay old.
Yep. 10 points, 4 boards, 4 assists for Landers Nolley II, who played his high school ball Southwest Atlanta at Langston Hughes. Had his jersey retired last night. First time in that school's history they've done that. Georgia without Aaron Cook tonight. Wright playing the point and a reach in on Lomax. First on the Memphis guard.
Well, with it being such a young season, Tom, you think about the opportunity for both teams. For Memphis, when you look and see who else has played well, Central Florida coach Johnny Dawkins, they're playing against Auburn tonight. Obviously, Coach Kelvin Sampson, it starts with them. In Houston, one of the more physical, tougher teams, and Sasser at the point guard position. SMU playing well again this year, and Wichita State always good at home. But this game's still so important, even though both teams coming off the loss. This is what you are hoping can get you jump started for both teams, and particularly Georgia, who hasn't gotten a win over the last 4 games.
Christian Wright, another free throw coming. You mentioned the American. Wichita State got a big win on the road at Missouri Friday after Thanksgiving. And Memphis, which won 15 of its last 19 last year, but a couple of bad losses. Teams like Tulsa and VCU, other losses to Auburn and 2 to close ones to Houston kept them out of the tournament. They were 20-8 last year and 11-4 in conference play. A little leaner, and Bridges just picked up his 3rd.
Crowd doesn't like that call, and I'm not sure if I do either. Definitely, Braylon Bridges was certainly up in the air, but when you talk about Nolley initiating the contact, there's only so far that you can go.
Nolley's got 2. Came in 9 of 12 from the free throw line, 3 of 4 tonight.
Tom, let's take a look here.
Checking in for the Dogs,
That's enough. That's enough. You give it to the offensive player.
Nolley makes the second. Duren got in the air, avoided committing the foul. A nice little reverse.
We talked about Jalen Ingram getting in foul trouble a little bit in the first half. They need him down the stretch.
Georgia down 3. 9 minutes to play.
Concerted effort trying to get it into Braylon Bridges.
Abdul-Rahim fouled. And that's the third on Emoni Bates.
Foul directed towards Memphis is number 1, Emoni Bates. That's his third.
Jabri Abdul-Rahim going to the free throw line. There's 1 for 3 from the line tonight. True weakness in his game, came in at just 68%. Transferred in from Virginia, part of a team that won the ACC regular season title.
And speaking with Jabri Abdul-Rahim, he was, you talk about a top 50 prospect when he went to Virginia. And this is a young man who, at times he thinks too much, but I think he has an impeccable upside. He's got a phenomenal stroke from behind the three-point line. When he turns it on, he can be fast in the open floor. He changes speeds. I think he just has to gain some confidence and a little bit more toughness and be more consistent for the Bulldogs.
Knocked both free throws down. Here's Bates. Got to move a little quick. Duren shovels it. Lomax down the lane. Beautiful move by the senior Alex Lomax.
Can't say enough about the veterans for the Memphis Tigers stepping up here tonight.
And a foul, and we'll see if they count it. Georgia says we should have goaltending on that one. 2 shots coming, they will not count it.
Wow.
Second on Quinones. You think there should have been goaltending?
Love to see that one again. It definitely was already on the backboard. At least when it was in fast motion, it looked like it to me.
Kerry Oquendo will go to the line for the Dogs.
Kerry Oquendo to the free throw line. It's a 19-point night for Oquendo.
Let's see if he gets up on that backboard first.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the backboard and the rim, but it already hit the rim, so it didn't have a chance of actually going in.
Oquendo gets the 2 back. He's got 20.
It's amazing how many times we question the officials and we look back and they're right.
Duren spins and reverses it in. He's got incredible body control for a freshman at 6'11", 250. Both teams red hot. Dogs have made 4 of 5. Memphis has sunk 5 of 7. Ingram with the crossover. Got stuck. Abdul-Rahim. Looked like they were going to count it if it would have gone. It's the 4th on Emoni Bates, who wanted a push off, and he's got to be calmed down by his classmate Duren. It's a 3-point lead for Penny Hardaway's Memphis Tigers with 7.5 to play. 33 to go here in Athens. It's a 61-58 lead for Memphis. Tom Hart alongside Damian Fishback. Tom Crean talked about his team needing to learn how to win. How do you win a game with 7.5 to play?
Yeah, I think it's both teams trying to learn how to win. For Coach Tom Crean, they've been right there in so many games. You think about the Georgia Tech game here, the Virginia game, even the Wofford game. It's just making that winning play, whether it's a loose ball or an offensive rebound. They actually had Cincinnati who's another team we didn't even mention in the American Conference that's playing extremely well. I got the former assistant from here, Coach Chad Dollar, on their staff now. But they were an offensive rebound away from winning that basketball game.
Couldn't get a block out late.
No, so right now it's just playing it one possession at a time. It's anybody's basketball game right now, but you have to take victories. They're not given to you.
Jabri Abdur-Rahim has another free throw coming. He's got a 12-point night. He's one of 3 Bulldogs in double figures. 1 of 2 from the line, and the rebound ripped down by Duren. He's got a 7'5" wingspan to go with a 6'11" body.
If I'm Memphis, I'd go right back down inside to Jalen Duren. They've had success with him on the block.
Bates playing with 4 fouls. Here's Duren working on Bridges. They sent 4 after him, and he's able to feed Williams for the slam.
Yeah, nice pass in traffic that time. Georgia's made the adjustment. I thought it was a nice dig by Carrier Oquindo, but just wasn't quick enough.
Wright turns the corner. Georgia down 4. Abdur-Rahim, no. Bridges. Turns into a fade, and he got it over Duren somehow.
Love it. Got a battle of the bigs going on right now on the block. Let's see who can stop who first, or if either coaches make adjustments, whether they send a double team at him or not.
Emoni Bates never let anyone else touch the ball. Did that one go off the glass? I think it was high, and he's got 6 now.
Just when you forget about Emoni Bates, he shows you some pro stuff.
And a whistle on DeAndre Williams. It's his 4th, so foul trouble piling up for the Memphis starters.
As physical as this game has been tonight, I'd like to give both teams a lot of credit. DeAndre Williams, he's asking the official Don Daly what he did wrong, but there's not a lot of complaining, not a lot of moping going on right now by the guys.
So the veteran Jalen Ingram at the free throw line. He's from just down the road of Madison, Georgia, where he was a great high school football player at one point. In fact, Jim Harbaugh's son on the Michigan coaching staff, came to recruit Jalen when he was a 6'7" wide receiver at Morgan County High School. Teams like Florida State, Mississippi State, Georgia Tech all offered him. He said, I'd rather go play hoops. Went to Florida Atlantic, and he finished as one of the most productive players in FAU history. Top 10 in school history. Points, boards, field goals, field goal attempts. A lot of basketball in Jalen Ingram's history.
Got a lot of guys that have come back, what they call super seniors this year. I think it's made college basketball potentially a chance for one of the best years ever because of the pandemic and allowing guys to come back, because of the transfer portal. So many guys at new places, along with the incoming recruiting classes, guys like Emoni Bates that could have went elsewhere that came to college basketball.
Bates. Oh my! And a blocking foul will send Bates to the free throw line.
Young fella in his flex zone. We talked about guys growing up right before our eyes, and really we talked about making adjustments. Bauman and Eder at that time were trying to do a double team, but the strength and really displayed by the quickness of Emoni Bates was sensational.
You can tell he's going to be a top pick. He knew right where the camera was. And he makes it a 3-point play. 5-point lead. They'll get him out. Bates playing with 4 personal.
See the difference between Georgia and Iowa State. Iowa State, the entire game, they were the attackers, no matter what defense Memphis was playing in. For Georgia, that's what they have to become. You see that time by Christian Wright. You cannot be intimidated by the length or talent or strength of the Memphis Tigers.
3-point game. Wright's got a dozen. Screen up high from Duren, and he slips. Trying to bounce it to him, got it into traffic. Duren finds it. Wow!
Big boy basketball.
Double figures for Jalen Duren. The pros taking over late. And it goes
Body control by Christian Wright again. He's got back-to-back buckets.
Absolutely love the answer.
Tom Crean trying to get everybody fired up. Deep three. And over the back on Earl Timberlake, his third.
Tom, you talk about the difference in winning and losing. Something as simple as a box out that time to complete the possession by Bauman. You got to make those small plays. If you don't have a box out and a rebound to complete the defensive possession, then you don't get back on the offensive end.
Bauman's got another one coming his way. That's the first point of the night for the senior who's played at both San Jose State and USC.
Well, he's doing just fine anyway after his proposal to his longtime girlfriend, Mackenzie Moore, beside Lake Herrick, intramural fields on the UGA campus. You know, basketball's secondary to this young man right now.
He's a great shooter, and he knocks down both free throws. We got a one-point game. Shoot or shoot. Emoni Bates working on Eder. Wow, he is feeling it. Both Bates and Duren taking over late from Memphis. Here's Bauman for three. Eder on the glass. And then the Tigers steal it away from him. Lomax picked his pocket. And it'll be Memphis basketball.
Both teams really displaying a lot of heart right now for this basketball game. And I love the fact that Georgia, after Memphis is scoring, is trying to get out quickly on the break. But if you're Georgia and you're down a possession right now here at home, the problem is you keep pulling it out of the basket. You've got to get some stops to get out on the defensive end or on the offensive end.
Yeah, Memphis has made 7 of its last 9 field goal attempts. Here's Bates, now guarded by Wright.
Yeah, just too much size down here. He could just shoot right over.
Off the mark, and then Eder commits a foul on the rebound. It's the 4th on a junior from Woodstock, Georgia.
Tom, so many people underestimate the value of length and size at so many positions. For an example, you can be a 6'2", 6'3" guard and be fine on the offensive end. But when you're going against wings that are 6'6", 6'7", long, athletic guys, to complete that defensive possession, you've got to box out and then elevate and compete for a defensive rebound. That's what we're seeing Memphis take advantage of the Georgia Bulldogs right now.
Memphis +1 on the glass. Here's Nolley off the curl. He's got 15. Lead back to 5.
Braylon Bridges has to help better on those screens. It's a couple times tonight it's been his guy that set the screen, and he's been just sitting back in the paint.
Right down the lane. Georgia's still red hot. Dogs have made 6 of 8. Open 3 from the wing. Loose ball, picked up by DeAndre Williams, back out for 3. And here comes Christian Wright. Dogs down 3, down 1. Quinones got 22. Bates on the bench right now. And a foul on the drive.
You know, when we talked about this game at the outset, the question was, would the home court advantage be enough for the Georgia Bulldogs? Tigers are fighting, but they got the Bulldogs that are fighting back as well. Georgia Bulldogs out in the break with a lot of bark and a lot of bite to go with it.
As a talented roster, it begins with Emoni Bates and Jalen Duren, and those two getting their touches and making them pay late.
Yeah, well, when you look at Jalen Duren, he has the size and length on the interior, and that's a pro shot right there by Emoni Bates. What I love is how quickly he's moving. That's what shows you he's ready for the next level, because that's extremely hard to double team. And right now, Memphis just a bigger, stronger team, and particularly on the offensive glass. But I love the fight that the Georgia Bulldogs have displayed as well.
That last personal foul was on Christian Wright after they discussed it a little bit. Both Duren and Bates more productive in the second half than the first. It's a 1-point game, Memphis with the lead. Penny Hardaway's team coming off of a listless performance against Iowa State, in which they shot just 36%, turned it over 22 times. Only 9 turnovers tonight. If they can keep that down, they're on pace for a season low. Lester Quinones, Jr. from Brentwood, New York. Misses the first. Makes the second.
Christian Wright really stepping up in the absence of Aaron Cook here of late. Bulldogs have multiple weapons. Braylon Bridges not in the basketball game right now, though. So I look for Wright to continue to do it. Carrier Oquindo has been exceptional as well.
Wright gives it up. And a near walk, a rejection by Duren, his third block of the night. Eder ball fake, he got hog-tied. They will not count it. The foul was on the floor before the shot. This veteran crew all over it, don't you agree?
I'm looking at Tom Cream on that sideline doing sprints back and forth. Oh my goodness.
It's a fourth on Duren. Eder trying to make a move. After Duren got beat, he just wrapped him around the neck, and then Eder went up with it.
Here, let's take a look at it. Ooh. Now, that's two things that they're taking a look at it, this veteran officiating crew. But two things. Number one, did he even make a play on the ball? Is my immediate question. And then number two, he definitely was in a shooting motion. If I'm the Bulldog fans, I expect this to count as well. Let's take a look right here. The shot fake. And so they're going to look and see if he's making a play on the basketball. Tom's getting it directly from veteran official Don Daly right now. What Don tell us?
Nothing excessive, just a common foul. And just a reminder, even if they went back to the monitor, they thought it was flagrant, they can't change it to a shooting foul. They can't determine that he was in his motion after they'd already whistled that it was on the floor.
Sure, sure.
So Eder to the free throw line, where he is 9 of 15.
Checking in for the Tigers, number 1, Emoni Bates.
2:54 remaining.
Jackson Eder showing outstanding poise under these circumstances. You talk about making winning plays. If Georgia's able to come out on top of this basketball game, that's one of the plays that we'll remember.
Dogs 81% from the free throw line. They've got 25 points from there. That's a big difference. Emoni Bates back on the floor for Memphis. Forced shot, offensive rebound, and a foul on it. That, if it's on Bridges, will be his fourth.
The previous play is under review.
They're going to take a look at this one as well. I think they got Abdul Rahim instead of Bridges, actually. Yeah, they're going to get Abdur Rahim with a shove in the back. You talk about basketball play on one end. What do you see when you see this shove?
Sure. Well, they both are in the judgment of the officials, whether they're deemed excessive or unnecessary. I don't think either one of them were basketball plays. I don't think the foul on Jackson Etter was a basketball play. And for Abdur Rahim, I don't think that was a basketball play either. The good news is you do have a veteran officiating crew. And so I'm sure they're going to keep it consistent, which is all you can ask for.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. Do you think that they look at it within the scope of calls on both ends and say, you know, if we're letting them go, we're letting them go?
Well, I think that's what coaches would hope. I think what every coach would ask is we just want consistency. If you're going to let the guys play, let them play. If you're going to call it close, just call it close on both ends. And right now, these officials are keeping it consistent for both Coach Hardaway and Coach Tom Crean.
Quinones has another one coming his way. Memphis back in front by 1. And Quinones calmly knocks them both down. He's got a dozen now.
Alex Lomax.
14 offensive rebounds for Memphis that have led to 15 second chance points.
Lomax back on the floor for the Tigers. Duren is out there, but no Bates.
Braylon Bridges, if he can get it, I believe, has a mismatch against Williams. There was a switch.
Still on him. High screen for him. 8. Now he's got Lomax on him. Right. Forces it, and it's knocked out of bounds by the Tigers.
It's Georgia basketball.
2:12 remaining. Georgia down 2. This has always been a close game in this series. 5-point Georgia win last time they met 2 years ago. Dogs upset the top 10 Memphis team at FedEx Forum. Abdur Rahim, yeah, nowhere to go. So he'll just launch. Perfect play! 15 for Abdur Rahim, Georgia in front. First lead for the Dogs. It's a 2-minute mark of the first half. Nothing was going right until the ball went through the hoop.
Well, he's the guy that we talked about at the outset. We said that Jabri Abdur Rahim was the man that we should watch tonight, and he has shown that. Even though he's a guy who hadn't been starting the entire year, he actually had more points in the first half of the previous game than his career high. His career high was 10 points going into the previous game. He had 12 in the first half. And so he is taking gigantic strides. And Coach Tom Crean and the Bulldogs have never needed him to take those strides more than they do tonight.
Fantastic atmosphere inside Segment Coliseum tonight. Memphis has 6 players in double figures, but the Tigers haven't made a field goal in the last 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Tom Crean waving for the crowd to get on its feet. He's a great hype man, incredible energy as he looks for career win number 400. Pocket pick, stolen away by Elquindo. Here we go! 3-point Georgia lead. Bates and Duren, both options for Memphis. Illegal screen on Duren. He is fouled out with 1:19 to play.
When you talk about the impact of home courts, of the fans this year in college basketball, we talked about, you know, how you've got guys that are able to return for another year, the transfer portal, freshmen coming back. But the biggest impact of college basketball this year is having the fans back in this stadium.
Duren done.
I saw you give me that look.
No, I was just looking at the center. I got grief for calling it a stadium earlier today, too. Duren done with 10 points and 5 boards. This steal may be the play of the game.
Young man almost hit his head on the rim.
Tom Crean told us he's improving daily, and if he's still only at 60% of capacity, man, the upside is something else. Memphis without a field goal the last 3 minutes now. We approach the 1 minute mark. Georgia trying to make it a 2-possession game. Wright cut off, trying to feed it inside. Loose ball for a second. Bridges, no. Memphis down 3, under a minute to play. Tigers 7 of 20 from deep tonight, if that's where they want to go. Nolley threw it up after the whistle. Memphis is going to talk about it.
I love this timeout call by Coach Hardaway. A lot of teams, they allow their players to make plays. They're concerned about the defense having a chance to set up the defense as Coach Hardaway takes off the jacket. He's ready to get loose now. But in this type of environment, you have a chance to go 2 for 1. And so I'm sure that's in the conversation with the NBA background of Penny Hardaway, Rasheed Wallace, Larry Brown. And so if you're Memphis, you don't have to have a 3 right now, but you need something quick.
Yeah.
And so you need to go to the basket. You take what the defense gives you, whether that's a straight lane drive, preferably something that gets you to the free throw line and stops the clock, or you penetrate, draw, and then you have a dish for a 3-point shot. But he can also set up his defense in this huddle as well. That's why I like the confidence in taking this time out here down the stretch.
Tigers offense much more efficient in the second half. They're shooting 54% since the break, including 4 of 9 from 3. But they're operating now without their starting center, Jalen Duren. And on top of that, if there's an extra period involved, Emoni Bates is playing with 4. DeAndre Williams is playing with 4. And Timberlake has 3.
The good news for the Tigers is that they have multiple weapons. So many guys that have the ability to score, whether you use the veteran Lomax, who can get to the rim extremely quickly. We know the job that Nolley has done. Quinones has been terrific tonight. But my question is, if you're Georgia, what do you do defensively here? Do you change it up?
You think?
Make it, make a zone to where they're questioning what they're doing, make them think a little bit, or do you stick with your man-to-man so you're in better positions to rebound? It looks like they're going to stick with their man-to-man.
Memphis with 14 offensive rebounds tonight. That's been a big part of their offensive attack. And a foul.
Just not smart by Jalen Ingram.
And that'll put Nolley at the free throw line. Why overplay an inbounds pass that's going to come in 30 feet from the basket?
Well, Jalen Ingram's just trying to be physical, the 6'7", 225-pound graduate transfer in Madison, Georgia. The challenge is, as a veteran, you just have to know time, score in the basketball game. And so right now he'll have a chance to make up for it if it doesn't go through. The defensive rebound right now is the biggest priority for the Bulldogs.
Missed the front end, rebounded by Ingram. Covers up for his mistake. And it turns into an empty Memphis possession. Once again, Georgia trying to make it a 2-possession game. Here's Wright on Williams.
26 seconds right now in the basketball game. Memphis allowed to take. It looks like Memphis is just going to play them straight up and then go back on the other end for a 3-point shot.
Georgia coming out of this timeout as Tom Crean uses it. We'll have 9 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, about 14.7. 14.7 is the difference between the game clock and the shot clock. And right now, Memphis is putting all of their eggs in one basket. They're saying, we're going to go for a stop here, and then we're going to come back and try to make a 3-point shot.
If you're Georgia, where do you go?
Well, you have multiple places that you can go. Christian Wright showed us good signs. Cario Quindo has done well also. I think more than where you go is when you go. more important than where you go is when you go. And I think they don't take this shot until about 4 or 5 seconds left on the shot clock, because even when you take that shot, you're going to have a few more ticks go off if there's a miss. If you make it, it's going to be an uphill battle for Memphis. But even if you miss it, you take some more time off of the shot clock, or the game clock, I'm sorry, and make it a lot more challenging for Memphis to score.
9 seconds left on the shot clock for Tom Crean's team. He's trying to nail down career win number 400. And Georgia looking to end a 4-game losing streak.
What you do not do if you're here, if you're Georgia, is turn it over.
They got a hand on it. Tigers step on the sideline. Great effort by DeAndre Williams. And 7 seconds remain on the shot clock. Georgia uses a timeout after what Tom Crean saw what Memphis was doing from a defensive standpoint.
Well, for Georgia here, you would rather take a shot clock violation and have 14 seconds to defend than you would turn over the basketball and give Memphis a chance to go against your defense whenever it's not set. So if I'm Coach Tom Crean, I'm saying priority number 1, take care of the basketball. Be strong with the basketball. Expect to even get fouled. Number 2, you want to take it towards the basket. You take whatever the defense gives you, but the officials are more likely to blow the whistles here down the stretch. And then, last but not least, after the shot, make or miss, get back and make sure that you defend the three-point line without fouling a three-point shooter.
Ingram is 2 for 2 tonight. Oquendo is 4 for 5. Bridge is a good night at the free throw line. And Eder, who is not in the game at the moment, is also perfect.
What a win this would be for the Georgia Bulldogs, coming out for 4 tough losses against the number 18th ranked team in the nation.
Ingram will inbound it. .21 seconds left in the game, 7 on the shot clock, and another Georgia timeout.
Wow.
There's 21 seconds left in the game. It's an 80-77 Georgia lead over Memphis, and 7 seconds left on the shot clock. We apologize, the scorebook not operating right now. So 21 seconds left in the game and 7 on the shot clock with Georgia up 3. Tom Crean now taking a third crack at it, coming out of a timeout.
Well, those timeouts could be valuable going down the stretch, and it is the final timeout for the Georgia Bulldogs. And so I would tell my guys, look, number 1, get the basketball in, but even if you don't get it in, we'd rather take a 5-second call than giving it away and allowing Memphis to score. At least we'd have our defense set. On the other hand, Memphis is actually, their style of play is beneficial right now. They're used to pressuring. They're used to using their wingspan and length and making it difficult for teams to move the basketball. So that plays to their advantage here, but they certainly have to get a stop, and then after that stop, they have to go rather quickly.
7 seconds left on the shot clock, 21 seconds in regulation, and Georgia leads 80-77 over Memphis.
Interesting enough, in the game versus Wofford here, Georgia was down 3, and Wofford actually tried to foul Carol Oquendo, but they weren't able to. Carol Oquendo made a nice inside-out play and then had an opportunity to shoot the 3. The question is, if you're Georgia here, does it get to a certain point where you foul Memphis instead of allowing them to knock down a 3-point shot?
Eder now inserted in the game, gets it inbounds. Memphis will not foul. 3 on the shot clock, and a foul on the jumper. The little leaner from Ingram, and he'll go to the line. It's the 5th on DeAndre Williams. 17 seconds left in the game. Ingram will have 2 chances to make it a 2-possession game.
Talking about a guy who averaged a double-double in the Romans Legend Classic. He's a young man who actually had double-figure in his first regular season double-figure scoring output at Cincinnati, where we were talking about that Georgia played well. He has some huge free throws here in Stegman Coliseum right now. Memphis started the season 5-0, and now the Tigers in danger of losing
back-to-back games. It would be the first time they lost back-to-back games since early last year when they lost their second and third games of the season to Western Kentucky and VCU. Those two losses, two of the big reasons Memphis didn't make the tournament despite a 20-win season. Jalen Ingram. And that'll make it a two-possession game with 17 seconds left.
So now the mindset shifts. Georgia, you know it's a two-possession game. Most importantly, you don't want to foul on this defensive end, and you want to make Memphis take some time off of the clock to score.
Ingram goes 3 of 4 from the line on the night. Here's Lomax now. The clock winding down. Down 4. Memphis has to hurry. Lomax with 9. They're going to try and take a 2, and they get it on the drive by Nolley.
Remember, Georgia's out of timeouts here.
2-point Georgia lead. Inbound and a quick foul by Lomax, and that'll stop the clock with 5.8 remaining.
Gets really interesting now down the stretch. You talk about winning basketball games. Finishing at the charity stripe is one of the ways you have to do it.
I thought Memphis played it well in the half court, except they waited maybe a few seconds too long to get to the rim, even though Nolley finished it.
Yeah, the most important thing is that they scored the basketball, right? You don't score that, the game is pretty much over. And so even though they took a little bit more time off of the clock, Tom, they were able to get the basket, they stayed poised, under control, and they were able to put the pressure back on Georgia.
Wright knocks it down to make it a 3-point lead. Here's a huge one coming. And Christian Wright tonight, 6 for 6 from the free throw line, starting in place of Aaron Cook, who's under the weather.
How about Christian Wright? 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists on the night.
It won't go. Memphis will have a chance to tie. They use a quick timeout. And 4.5 seconds left. You can feel the nervous energy in the building. What does Penny Hardaway draw up for a team that came in shooting 36% from 3?
Well, first thing he's thinking is, I wish college basketball would change the rule.
Right.
We can advance the basketball like we did in the NBA. But he's thinking two things. Number one, of who he wants the shot to get to. The ball moves faster via the pass than the dribble. So he wants whoever catches the ball to catch the ball going towards their rim. Second of all, 4.5 seconds is an eternity. Man, it's so good to be back in college basketball. Back here with these fans.
I thought you were going to say it's very great to be back in college.
they made me lose my entire track of thought. But so then after you get it going towards your basket, you know you have to have a three-point shot. And so you want to set a screen for whoever you want to get that shot. The question will be, if you're Coach Tom Crean here, do you foul before it gets across the court? I like fouling in this situation simply because it's so hard for a guy to make that first free throw. And then after they make the first one, then miss the second one, and then get the offensive rebound and put it back in.
Bates at midcourt. He's got great length. I'm sure they want to get him a touch. 4.5 seconds remaining. He'll offer the screen. Bates on the inbound. 4 seconds to play. To midcourt quickly. Now with 1.5. Floater off the front of the rim. That close. And Georgia holds on for Tom Crean's 400th win of his career. And the upset, the 18th ranked team in the country.